everyone, my name is Lisa and I'm the Viet Vegan because I'm Viet and I'm vegan, and today we're making beans. We're making some breakfast beans. I made them in a what I eat in a day video when I was testing these before and you guys were like, give me the beans. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you the beans. Baked beans I think are like very underloved in North America. In like the UK, yo, you guys are like about the baked beans. I find that here in North America they tend to be like sweeter, or sometimes they put like bacon or lard in it, and it's just like, all this stuff is so unnecessary. Like beans are already like so great. You just want to enhance them with a little extra like flavor, but it doesn't have to be meat. These ones have a little bit more extra veggies to it. UK or British style baked beans are just in like a savory sauce, which is like delicious, but I just want to add a little extra heft. You know what I'm saying? My recipe will be linked down below. Let's make some baked beans. Here I have my Instant Pot, and we're gonna Instant Pot these beans. Now you can just use like canned navy beans if you want to, but after using an Instant Pot, which is a pressure cooker that's electric, my bean game has been like on another level. It just like changes the bean experience. A lot of people really like the Instant Pot because you can cook beans without soaking them, but after doing that and after experimenting and doing some research, I found that you get real gassy when you just eat beans just like dried to cooked like right away. So there's a reason and a function for soaking your beans, and it's to, I can't remember exactly what it is. Basically when you soak them, you kind of help break down, I think that it's the phthalates, this word that kind of gets like leached out. Over time. It's fine to eat, but it's harder for you to digest. And also, I think it also blocks the absorption of certain minerals and some of the benefits of eating beans in the first place. So like, soak your beans, y'all. So I've soaked these beans actually for 24 hours. You can do it for at least 6 hours. Up to 24 hours I think is really great. It just allows for, you know, more of that absorption blocking stuff to get out. You know what I'm saying? So these are some navy beans that I have, and these are the dried beans. So actually I'll insert a clip to show you guys like the difference between the plump soaked beans versus the dried beans. I'm gonna put this over here. This is 550 grams of beans, also known as 3 cups of dried beans that have been soaked overnight. I have about 2 liters of water. I'm just gonna add it over here. And you wanna cover the beans by at least 1.5 inches of water. I like to add a couple bay leaves in here. I just find they add a little bit more dimension and flavor. So I'm gonna add 3 bay leaves. We're just gonna close this on up. What I like to do is I like to set it on sealing, and then you just hit beans for 15 minutes. I'm actually gonna lower it down to 13 minutes. You can cook soaked beans in like 7 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. I don't know, I just say 13 minutes just to be safe. That's what we're gonna do. Meanwhile, while that's cooking, we're gonna make the sauce for the baked beans. So we have our medium-sized pot. We're gonna turn on, locked and loaded, turning on the fire. So we're gonna preheat that for a little bit, and we have a little bit of vegetable oil. So I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You can use just 1, but I think that it just helps a little bit more. And then we're gonna add some diced onion. So this is about 1 medium large-ish onion. You need about like a cup. We're just gonna cook this bad boy up. So you're just gonna cook up these onions till they get a little brown, a little caramelized. Any good recipe starts with some onion. It adds a great sweetness, depth of flavor, body. So our onions are looking quite browned and delicious. Now it's time to add our garlic. This is about 3 cloves of minced garlic, but you know, garlic is a very liberal, aromatic. More garlic, more better, as they say. Okay, this is starting to burn a little bit. Lisa, you spent too much time not looking and paying attention. So I'm gonna add a little bit of tomato. So we're gonna add about a cup of carrots and a cup of celery to the mix. Onion, celery, and carrot, a French love trio of delicious flavor, also known as a mirepoix. I don't know why I like pronounce the R so like, what is this, German? Mirepoix. This is gonna take a little bit of time just to let that cook down, and then we'll add the rest of the tomato, but I find the acid makes the vegetables harder to like soften, so we want these to be nice and soft. I just add a little bit of tomato to deglaze the pan because things are starting to get a little hairy in there. And I'll see you once this is done, sort of like cooking down a little bit. All right, so it's been about maybe 5-ish minutes. We're gonna add the rest of the tomato sauce, or the diced tomatoes, not tomato sauce. I'm probably gonna add about 2 cups of water in here. So I'm just gonna get some water, I'll be right back. All right, so we've got 2 cups of water, and I'm just gonna add it in. So we're just gonna stir this all, let that cook, and then I'm gonna cover this and let this cook for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna bring it to a boil first, and then once it's simmering, I'll cover it. We'll let it chill. And by chill, I mean simmer. My bad. All right, so we're gonna add about, this is ideally better to add before you add the water, because then you can cook up the spices a little bit more. 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then this is sort of the key for baked beans. It's Worcestershire sauce or whatever. Worcester sauce? Worcestershire? Typically, Worcestershire sauce is not vegan. It's made with anchovy, like liquids. Ugh. But this is a vegan Worcestershire sauce that I found. There's actually a lot of vegan brands out there. I think one of them that's available in the States is called Annie's. Worcestershire sauce is like kind of what gives that flavor. It's like an umami, salty, a little bit sweet sauce. So I added about 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna stir that all in. Actually, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt too. About a teaspoon of salt. So this is some kosher salt, which is a little bit less salty than typical salt. You don't have to use kosher salt. You can use iodized salt. You can use whatever the heck you want. A little salt helps everything taste a little bit better, you know? So we're gonna cover that and let that cook for about 20 minutes. Basically while this waits, like while we wait for this to like finish cooking and then let it release a little bit, and then I'll manually release the pressure. One thing I forgot to mention is that when you're soaking the beans for this recipe, I also recommend soaking it with some salt. Serious Eats did like a comparison of like soaking with salt, without salt, and cooking with salt and without salt, and the effects of the salt on soaking beans, and it actually helps keep the beans sort of like, they don't like break apart as easily. Yeah, I'll see you guys when this is done cooking and when this has released pressure. Things are done cooking. So everything is cooked through, softened, we're looking pretty good, and our beans are cooked through. I'm actually gonna release them. I waited about 25, almost 30 minutes for the pressure to release naturally, but there's still gonna be a little bit more, so I'm just gonna release this. Then I'm gonna blend this. There's a lot of noisy stuff that's gonna happen, so I don't really wanna like blow your ears out, so I'm gonna fast forward till this is all done, okay? My immersion blender is one of my favorite appliances. Definitely worth the space. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I have a series on my channel that I've just started called Is It Worth the Space? Because I have a lot of appliances and you know, sometimes things are not worth the space. I blend this really smooth if I can. My blender is like kind of old, so the blades are like a little dull, but it's okay. Things are looking pretty good though. It's a very smooth sauce. It's gonna be perfect for baking these beans in. Let's check on the beans. Ooh yeah, they look out pretty good. That kind of bothers me about this appliance. I'm like well about an inch below the like max fill line, and that still spurted out like a lot of water, which is kind of scary, kind of dangerous. That's like the one issue I have with it. It does yield pretty delicious results. So I'm just gonna take out the bay leaves, throw this out. These beans look super awesome. So I'm gonna spoon out some of the sauce here just to keep like a base of sauce on the bottom, kind of like lasagna, you know? I don't know the exact size of the pan, but any like casserole baking dish works well. This is like my go-to dish for everything. And then I'm just gonna add the beans straight into here. I'm gonna drain off as much water as I can and just put them directly in. Oh my God, these beans look so good. I just wanna try one. Oh, it's so buttery. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Now this makes a lot of beans. You don't have to make this much, but I just find like the ratio of everything really, really great. And this freezes really well. I just put it in like a freezer safe container, freeze them, meal prep them for later. Plus you can, you know, put some in a jar, give some to a friend. Because I've been testing this recipe so many times, I've given a lot of beans to my friends and they found them very delicious. So, you know, would recommend. Now this bean water, you could probably reduce and use as like aquafaba, but because I use some bay leaf in here, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, and then we're gonna pour in the rest of our sauce. Because I strained it directly from the pot, I'm gonna have a little bit extra liquid in the casserole dish. That's okay, no worries. So you just wanna give everything a good stir, just to make sure that you evenly incorporate the sauce all over. All right, so these beans are ready to be baked. I like to bake them uncovered for about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how hot your oven is at 350. My oven's kind of hot, so it's like around 375 actually where I bake it, and then I bake it for about 25 minutes. If you wanna do 30 minutes at 350, if your oven is like not super hot like mine, it's fine. You just basically wanna give it time to soak up all of the tomato flavor. And we're gonna bake this. So I'll see you guys once it's baked. One thing I should mention, there's a reason why you don't just cook the beans all with the tomatoes and everything together because the acidity from the tomatoes will kind of make these beans like really hard. So you want to cook these beans separately on their own before adding the tomatoes. I actually learned that the hard way when I tried to make chili by cooking the beans in the chili directly. And the beans just kept getting like, they were just like eating boiled peanuts. Like it was just really not good. Cook the beans ahead of time, either with a pressure cooker or use canned beans. You want to add cooked beans to this tomato sauce before baking. I'm gonna bake this for about 30 minutes and then I'll see you when they're done. I'm excited. All right. I brought up my marble surfaces because I'm gonna take a photo. I was actually gonna take a photo before I shot this part, but I need to zhuzh this up to make it a little more pretty looking. This looks super luscious and delicious. So I'm just gonna like mix it up a little bit. A lot of that like moisture, that extra moisture from the beans, because I didn't strain them all the way, have been like kind of cooked out. Let's give them a try. I know what they're gonna taste like, but it's been a minute. It's been like a week. Holy. So buttery and like delicious. You could just like smoosh this on toast and it would be incredible. I like to have this with like butter and English muffins. Actually, you could add a little bit more salt. I'll probably add 2 teaspoons of salt. I always end up undersalting this. I don't know what it is. Oh my God. Instant pot beans are just, you haven't had beans until you've had Instant Pot beans, for real. I feel like a lot of cultures in South America pressure cook their beans too, which gets like the same result. They know their beans, man. Super good. Anyway, I hope you guys make this. This is perfect for Christmas Day, although it's a little bit late for Christmas Day, but you know, good for meal prep in the new year. So you have a hearty breakfast that you can have every single morning if you so choose. Just heat it up in the microwave or on the stove or whatever the heck you want. It's a good time. Beans are a good time, man. So yeah, I hope you guys make this. Feel free to change up the sauce, change it to your liking, add more maple syrup if you like that kind of thing. A little bit more salt, even a little barbecue beans, that's a good time. A little hot sauce, a little spice in the morning. I don't know why I designated this a morning food. It doesn't have to be a morning food. It could be a lunch, it could be dinner. I'm just eating beans. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want the full recipe, I'll leave the link down below. It's always on thevietvegan.com. Leave a comment down below. How would you eat these baked beans? Would you have them on toast, on their own, with tofu scramble? You can have like a full-on English breakfast with these. I'm very excited for beans. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching and I hope you guys have a delicious day. Bye. Beans, 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 beans. So we're gonna cook these for 13 minutes because they're soaked. I think excuse you.